All right, well, hitting go live now. So we're live now, I guess. And Aurorix is first time I caught one of these.
Welcome.
Yeah. Welcome back, guys.
And to regulars, welcome again.
That's right.
Crazy kids joining us again.
Talk about Eaglemoss stuff today. They got a great collection, a few collections, and a lot of you out there collect them. We know that for a fact.
You may have heard of them.
You may have heard of them.
You may have seen us use them. Maybe.
There's also a link down below, right to Eaglemoss, with a discount code Trekyards10 to save yourself some money if you guys are interested.
Well, so. That's good. What a coincidence.
Right? Yeah.
What a twist.
I got a whole shelf full of Eaglemoss models just right over there, so I can go grab anything I need at any point.
Yeah, I really think
a closet full at the bottom of the stairs, and a bunch upstairs on display. So I've got a bunch.
They really should rename though the brand to "Making Run Out of Space." The brand, because it just eats space. My God.
It does.
You think you have space, and then you buy Eaglemoss, and you're like, oh. That's where my closet went.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you start getting the XLs, that's when it really... The normal one's okay, but...
The XLs are dope.
But that's you want the specialist detail ones. I mean, I've got, rows and rows and rows and...
Rows.
Yep.
Rows.
I've got the entire collection, give or take. So, I've got the entire Discovery collection, the entire main collection, the entire Orville collection, almost the entire BSG collection, and every single special by so I have like 95% of the entire collection.
I'll send you a picture because I've moved mine around a bit, Samuel. And these ones, so like I said, it's right across from me there. And then there's the stuff at the bottom of the stairs too. And those are like stacked too deep. So I mean, you probably have more than I do though. I think.
Well, I have all of them. I mean, you picked and choose. I had all of them.
Yeah.
It's so many. But that's good though. I mean, it's the only place you can get that sort of thing. I got no picture. You sent me no picture. What do you do?
I did. It's coming through on the Facebook, so it's still sending. There it is. You should have it
now. Yes. That's my reaction to that.
Yeah. Snoopy McQueen sends a $5 super chat with a laughing pear.
That pear. Thank you. That pear is right though. Oh, Matthew DeFrida's only 500. You've escaped well.
What did Matthew DeFridas do? Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Yes. And Dystopian Side guys says no point in getting them all. Get your favourites. Yeah, but we like ships and might use them for the show. I mean, people such as yourself, but if you have this collection started just like 2 years before Trekyards, so you could not get a more perfect Trekyards, subject matter collections. The only collection I've ever subscribed to is the spaceships of Star Trek and sort of subsequently BSG. You wonder why.
Finding them when you're looking for them. You almost need a little sticker on each one and have them numbered in a catalog so you know which one to grab.
Which you can get fan stuff. People have fixed the issue. Because yes, they're certainly unhelpful. I've got boxes of unknown boxes. It's like great. I mean, you've seen me pull them out, slide. Okay, and once we had to find the ambassador, it was literally the back row on the furthest right. It was third down from the very last one. It's like I mean, great.
Hold on. I'll be back in 1 second. Just 1 second. Hold on.
Yeah. So put in the chat right now. Do you have Eaglemoss collection bits and bobs? Let me know right now in the comments below. Well, comments below the chat to the side. Are you an Eaglemoss collector? And even put in the chat how big an Eaglemoss collector, because like we'd said, there's so many things and bobs. Do you collect a lot? Do you collect a few? Do you collect way too many? And has it taken over your life? We're gonna. I pulled out a few ones because I've put into storage a lot of the ones that I know we've either covered on Trekyards or going to cover on Trekyards. But I've kept out a select few special ones, and we're gonna take a look at them today and chit-chat about the collection. So I'll do some live reviews, actually. Live reviews.
Olivia Julius, $5.
Thank you.
Who beats Battlestar Galactica? What? Bears. I'm confused. I sent you another picture there, Samuel. It should be there in a second. But anyway, yeah, so, I mean, we want to hear your Eaglemoss stories, good and bad. Do we want to talk about it? What have you guys collected? That's what this live is going to be about. And Eaglemoss has also kicked off their Summer Sweepstakes thing today. So we'll talk about that a little bit. Read you the details and the prizes that are involved with that. So if you guys are interested, you can try to win some cool stuff from Eaglemoss.
Ah, yes, the alternates. All the extra stuff.
That's yes. Yeah, those are stacked pretty deep too. You see what's on the top on the right hand side there?
I do. I do. But I'm going to start sharing. So you won't see me for a second. Well, you'll see me. But you won't hear me for a second. Oh, no.
Oh, wow. Everybody's just happy about that. All right, guys, as you can see, Super Chats are a great way to help out the channel and support us. If you can, please do so. You will get your comment read, your question answered. Whatever it is, by all means, send in a Super Chat. Or join the channel. You can join at many different ranks. There's a little join button down there besides the subscribe button. Make sure you're subscribed, obviously, as well. That's a great way to help us out. Also, the Eaglemoss link down below. You click that, takes you straight to the Eaglemoss site, and you fill up your cart with some cool stuff. Use the discount code Trekyards10 on checkout and save yourself 10%. So really cool stuff for you guys, really cool stuff for us. Helps us out. You can also help us on a monthly basis, like I said, by joining the channel or heading over to Patreon/Trekyards. Monthly stuff is very, very big and important and helps so much. You guys have no idea. So if you can, please do so. We would really appreciate that. Also, there is the Trekyards merchandise down below. There's the Teespring store and the TeePublic store. The TeePublic store right now, everything is 35% off, so go check that out. TeePublic, link in the description. Head on over there, check out some Trekyards swag. Order yourself some right now with 35% off. That's a fantastic deal. So their sale has started today as well, and you can head over there and get some really cool Trekyards stuff because we would like to see you wearing it or using it like a mug or whatever. There's lots of cool stuff, so go check it out. So lots of ways to support us and help us out. If you want to send a PayPal, you can do that as well. The PayPal information is in the description of every video. And it's just trekyards@hotmail.com. Send us a PayPal. Let us know that you sent the PayPal in the regular chat, and we will check out the email from PayPal, and we can read your comment or question that way as well. Ia Rourke says, do they make models that you put together yourself? Currently, they only have one, and that's the big Enterprise D. It's like 3.5, 4 feet long once it's completed. So there is that one that people are getting. I have yet to get it. But yeah, they do sort of. That's one of the things. A lot of people don't have the ability or the time to make a model, but they still want a model or something. So Eaglemoss is great for that. So Eaglemoss story, but this is just about Marvel figurines. They changed the quality of the figure and magazine. They went from painted lead to a resin plastic. You can tell the difference. Oof. Yeah, they got so much stuff. They got the DC line, they got Batmobiles, they've got the Predator versus Aliens series, which I've done a lot of reviews of. By the way, I've done a lot of Eaglemoss reviews on this channel, so go check those out. There's a whole playlist. There's the Star Trek collection, Battlestar Galactica. They've got Stargate on the way, I think. They started Space 1999. So there's a lot of cool stuff, not just ships, but figurines, books. They've got the Star Trek comics collection, which is all like hardbound volumes of Star Trek comics. Any knowledge if they might get into the Expanse? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised, but yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff that they have. So if you haven't checked it out, I've also, like I said, done a lot of reviews of Eaglemoss stuff on the channel. One of the Batman busts and some Alien versus Predator stuff, and even ships from Alien, things like that. So there's a lot of really good stuff in the Captain Foley Eaglemoss reviews playlist. So check those out. I basically call it like I see it. If there's shit quality, I'll point it out. And let's be fair, not every Eaglemoss ship is spot on 100%. There are some issues, but overall, for a nice put together pre-painted model, detailed, they actually do pretty good job. So there's some really fantastic stuff. And like I said, it's not just Star Trek. There's multiple different collections as well. So if you guys don't know about Eaglemoss, what's wrong? Go check it out. Eaglemoss online. Link down in the description below, actually. Head on over there. And Chris Gwillem says the Expanse range is coming soon. So there you go. There will be Expanse stuff as well, they say.
I mean, so is the Stargate range. So is the, where's the rest of the Orville ships, and Space 999 stuff has been. Everything was slowed down by a long time, and even more BSG ships have slowed down. So, I mean, I'm not gonna, no complaints there. It's just coming soon. It's been coming soon for a long time now. But pandemic, slows everything down, which is fine.
They have the licenses though, which is great. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, like I said, Orville, they've had like 2 years now to make new ones, and they haven't made any. So I hope that's not because no one bought them, but it's a shame.
Well, the Eaglemoss ships, or the Orville ships, are actually really good from Eaglemoss. I really like them.
Yeah, I just wish the shuttle's so low detailed because the shuttle's so low detailed. I mean, it's like you can't really complain about the D7 miniature because that's a D7.
Yeah.
But as we do with our TNG reviews, and obviously we've talked about this on and off, but this is obviously for posterity as well. When was your first experience with Hero Collector Eaglemoss? When you first heard about it, and when you got your first one, do you think?
My first experience wasn't great. Let's be fair. I'll get to that in a second, but we'll get to the super chat real quick. Kyle Wong puts in £5, so thank you. Hi guys, do they do lightsabers and replica swords? No and no. They don't have the Star Wars license, and no replica swords or anything like that. So, but no, my first exposure to Eaglemoss was in 2013 at the Star Trek Las Vegas convention. They had a booth, and they were just getting ready to launch. They hadn't put anything out yet. They had a bunch of ships there, some of the magazines, and it was a subscription thing, monthly service. So it's like, that's cool, man. The Star Trek ships on a monthly basis, sign me up. So I went, and I talked to them, and I was going to sign up, and guess what? I'm Canadian. No, we don't ship to Canada. They didn't ship to Canada until probably 2 years ago. Even before, I was getting stuff from them to review before they were shipping to Canada, because Trekyards and Eaglemoss kind of go hand in hand. We're ships and ships, right? So they were sending me stuff before they even shipped to Canada, and it was a big deal. I announced in a lot of my reviews that they're going to be doing Canada soon. And eventually they got there. So yay! Now they can ship to Canada. But yeah, my first experience with them was like, these are really, really cool. I'm really happy. Sign me up. Oh, I can't because I'm in Canada? Oh, okay. Well, it'll be a year, so, it's like Lower Decks Season 1 for the rest of the world. When's it going to happen? Took forever. So...
Well, it is it's one of those rare UK companies, and, Canada isn't... I don't know, it's amazing how, obviously, when how many things do we not get the USA gets, and you get by default, but Canada's a smaller market, so, it's like when Mexico get them, or Australia, I don't know, so... Why would you get them soon? They're a smaller company. Now they're bigger, obviously, because they made their legacy UK... with Star Trek stuff, which is nice.
Yeah, well, the UK and Canada, I mean, hey, we're hand in hand, we're buddies, and plus you're shipping to North America anyway, just to the States, just edge it over to across the border there. It's still North America. Ship them over here. I didn't understand the problem. I understand it's a smaller market, population-wise.
Oh, it's building blocks, isn't it? You start in the UK and CBS wants you in America, and then you see where it goes. It just takes a while. My first... I actually think I may have seen a TV advert for them, which is astounding, because I barely watched TV at the time, and this was obviously a lot of years ago.
Yeah. 2013, at least.
Yeah. Actually, let me check that out, because obviously I didn't see them at the Vegas when they announced the original prototypes.
Tony says, I want to get the XL Enterprise Refit, but there's way too much wrong with it. I have the Bandai A, which is way better and bigger. The Bandai one is fantastic. I have 2 of those, and not only that, but they light up. But the detail on them is perfect. The XL Refit is good, except for the saucer. All the details on the secondary hull and engines are great, but the saucer has some errors, like Star Trek Phase 2 Enterprise errors, especially on the bridge dome and the BC deck. It's just... So yeah, I feel you there, man.
Yeah, that...
Like I said, I've reviewed it, so check it out.
Yeah, that Victorian house they built for that TV show is really close. The roof's right, but the building is made of purple straw. But the roof's really good. It's like... Yeah.
That's one of the most iconic ships, too. I can't believe they effed up the XL so much. And they haven't fixed it since.
Well, they also effed up the original version as well. Their refits have never had good treatment. It took them like 85 issues to make an A, which was better but not amazing. I'm going to actively avoid that one. There's no reason to waste my money on it. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they started in 2013, so you were right there. But I think I saw them on TV. I subscribed pretty quickly, and I remember getting my very first one in this house, and that was pretty fun, for £1.99, because the first one's obviously less, and it was very well detailed. The Enterprise did one of their best. No wonder, And I remember I was at university in my second year house, and I got the next two because it's in a month. And I remember thinking, oh, that Bird of Prey's great. That refit's garbage. That refit's really bad, but okay, whatever. Moving on. And then it's like, okay, now...
You're always analysing ships, because that's what we did. But, yeah.
Well, I was making Temporal Anomaly, so I was CGIing ships and I was getting to know them. And they did get... That initial batch of 4 had big stinkers and big winners, but they did settle down quite quickly into their rhythm. Once they started balancing real models with new models, and the new models, obviously, they could control the quality of slightly more than old models that they sort of skipped on, and they would, they were in production a long time before they started releasing, and they didn't necessarily quite quality control everything, and they're using older assets that they happen to have already. I know that their Miranda class was built by Fabio for the magazine like 2 years earlier, which isn't a long time, but it wasn't built for it. It was like, well, what do we have? Yeah, Fabio's mesh is good. We'll nick that, and then we'll nick that from there, and it was about trying to create that initial whatever. But I remember when it was pitched like only 25 issues, I was like, yeah, it'll keep going, and then it had a lot of things. But I remember being rather pleased and thinking it isn't about getting them per se, and this is my mentality back at the time. Because I was a university student, and putting money each month for little plastic ships isn't smart, but that's okay. It wasn't about getting the ships you could get with micro machines at the time, or whatever. It was about getting the ships you couldn't get anywhere else. That was what was special to me, because there was never a market in building a Vidian cruiser. But there is a market when it's issue 112, and you're like, oh yeah, well, we're going to get cool things. Like, then it becomes everything. That's why I'm very pleased to have it, because they've made so many iconic things. And yes, okay, they're not the hugest, but, they are faithful. They didn't, for the most part, they use real studio models, so what you get is what you get, warts and all. There isn't some cheap companies like the Stargate magazines, which did the DVDs. They remade all the 3D models for the magazines, and they're all wrong. All of them. And so you're like, yes, there's renders, but they're all wrong, and so where's the joy in that,
Yeah. Area 51 though, $5. What's your least and most favorite ship in both your collections?
I'll answer that. Stuart hates getting those sorts of questions. What is his least and best favorite? Because he doesn't know, and it changes on any given day.
I've got like 3 bests from Eaglemoss. Honestly, the TOS Battlestar Galactica Viper is fantastic. One of my favorite models for sure. As is the Orville, the XL one and the small one. They're both really good.
The XL is better though.
Yeah, and also like the original Battlestar Galactica. Any of the Battlestar Galactica stuff is just really spot on.
Well, yeah, but those had the edge of being better 3D models and in bigger scale and much more expensive, so everything was good. I think he means more for the Star Trek though. I'm scrolling down the list. Yes, of the 230 items, Stuart, tell us your favourite right now.
Yeah.
I'm only down.
And I'm looking at the side of boxes right now, so I can't even like.
I'm only down to 47 in my scrolling.
Well, one of my favorites actually was one of the first ones I got, which was the Enterprise ring ship. It's still on display in the ready room. I do like that one because it's a ship we never really had to be able to hold before, and it's a like untold piece of Star Trek history. Hashtag where's the ring ship episode? But anyway, so that's up there in the ready room on display. So I think that would have to be one of my favorites. As far as least favorite, there's so many. Some of them are just so wrong. I think one of my least favorites actually is the Scimitar.
Oh, I like that one. Oh.
as big as it is, it's got some issues with alignment and stuff.
Well,
And
I always ignore that. It's like Discovery's original reboot. They misaligned windows. It's like, yeah.
well, this is symmetry though. The one pod is off, and it's not just one of them, because for some reason they sent me 3. So the first one I had broke, so they replaced it, and then they just sent one with a random shipment once. So all 3 of them are the same, and it's like, no, fix your shit. Like, nothing should be off like that. I understand if it's just not in the package properly and there's a little bit of a misalignment issue because of heat and shipping and all that, but it's very much like a mold issue. And I don't know, I just don't like the detailing on the scimitar. So that would be my answer for that. So what about you, Samuel?
I was scrolling.
Oh, you're still looking through
No,
the list.
it's, as we've said previous times, that's why the question's being asked. The Delta Flyer is a good one for both scales, because it's a small ship, so the details really pop in the small scale. Prometheus, they actually managed to come in a lot of detail. That was pretty good. The Ambassador class is a pretty good solid standard, so is the Negvar. I mean, honestly, some of the less good ones are the ones that you just don't care about as much, because they don't even pop. Like the Botany Bay, it's so thin.
Yeah.
And it's...
Well, going to that, speaking of that, though, it's like the Solar Sailor. Everyone I've seen has been broken.
Yeah, it's not worth its salt. I mean, it's just, what's the point? But the Botany Bay is small and unimpressive. It's just, it's just hard to... And then the Borg Tactical Cube, I remember that. It's very small. It's kind of like, what's the point? Because they have a set box dimension, which is useful for packing, sure. So whichever way it fits into that first. And so things like long ships are bad because they get to be very thin. Wide ships are bad because they get to be very small. You want stout, medium... So like the Raven's a nice one because it's a high detail. And smaller ships get better treatment because they just are bigger.
Mm-hmm.
But the Harry Mudd ship is awful, but that's just I don't like the design.
Yeah, and it should be worth pointing out too that there are different Star Trek lines. There's the Star Trek Universe line, Star Trek's...
That's the new one.
Star Trek Online. There's the Star Trek Discovery, which are the bigger ships, and then you got the standard line, and then the XLs. Which the XLs are like shop exclusives or special editions.
Yes, which they're all pretty good. The shop exclusives, they're all special custom builds, so they all tried a lot. But the XLs are an interesting batch when it comes to the Trek models, because the ones that are just XLs of existing ships are interesting because they 8 times out of 10 are the exact same 3D model, just scaled up. Which means if they got things wrong in the initial version, they've just scaled up to the wrong version, to the bigger. So the Excelsior is wrong, whereas Enterprise B is great because they're based off an accurate 3D model that Rob Von Schoon did. The Ambassador class, while it has a lot of weight to it, they still didn't make it accurate, even though it was custom built for the collection. Even though there's easy reference available, they still didn't put the impulse engine in either version, even though they were 3 years out. You would think they would just say, oh, add an impulse engine, boom, done, do it. They've made extremely silly mistakes that are extremely silly, but they can also make extremely well done things. And that's why a lot of the things like the Discovery stuff and the Battlestar Galactica, more distinct 3D models, higher end, they're obviously going to be... I'm sure CBS has a more fine-tuned process of approving the newer stuff, because they really care. The older stuff's like, who cares about a Connie? But a Klingon Jack Vech class, how many people bought it? 4. Oh.
Yeah. Not a banned account, $2. Eaglemoss Enterprise CXL, best Enterprise ever.
Ever.
I mean, it's a great Enterprise. There, like you just pointed out, there are mistakes with it though. The impulse engine is,
and the sources got wrong paint as well. It's odd just because there is a right answer for most of these things, but they got to a certain point where they just weren't quality controlling as they should, because they have to do one every 2 weeks plus other lines. Quality suffered, but you're still getting cool things.
And Kyle Wong puts in £5. Do the models hold their value? Yeah, I would say so. Most of them do.
Well, in fact, they actually go up in value, as odd as that sounds, because they actually make limited runs. If you want to find any of the initial 100, they charge you for it, because they don't have it on the website. I mean, the website is half sold out of stock. I mean, because they're only made so they make them in batches, and they don't tend to make them very often. They occasionally make the first couple of important ones, but they for the most part haven't made a second batch of a lot of the starter ones. And you will often find conventions where UK money, but it was like £9.99 to buy one. They're marking up anything between £13 and £25. Because if it's popular, well, I have one, good luck finding another one. If it's not popular, I have one, good luck finding one, but less people want it. So actually, no, they actually are. I don't know about the XLs, they're expensive innately. But yeah, no, the actual collection, that's why having the entire thing is actually quite rare, just by itself.
Now, I do want to point out, too, that, like I said, today is the first day of their Summer Sweepstakes, Summer of Trek. They actually have a cruise that's going on in February of 2022. So they're offering several prizes, such as a complimentary cabin on the sold-out cruise, plus a $500 gift card for onboard entertainment. And so what you just go to the site, and you enter your name and email, and you can enter a few times, I guess, looks like. But the prizes, there's over 250 prizes that will be given away. The prizing is designed to drive participation by having more winners to increase the odds of winning. So you guys should go and enter and see if you can win. The grand prize, complimentary cabin on the 2022 Summer of Trek cruise, plus the $500 gift card. Second first prizes, autographed gold TOS Enterprise XL. Now, I don't know who's autographing it, but okay. There's one grand prize, 2 first prizes, 5 second prizes. That's a 1-year subscription to Star Trek collection of their choice. And then 250 third place prizes, which are $10 gift cards. It closes on the 30th of August. So, and then 1 week after that, they'll announce the winners. So if you guys are interested and want to head over there and enter that would be fantastic. You could win some stuff. So, Matthew DeFreitas, $2. XL Connie and Enterprise E are the pride of my collection. Yeah, the XL Enterprise E is actually a really fantastic model. I do like that one. XL Connie, it's okay. Like I said, I've reviewed these, so check out the reviews, but the Bizarre collectors are kind of meh. There are actually 2 different orange colors on mine, which is really annoying. But
yeah, it is weighted well, and the E certainly has more detail. One thing I quite like, and this is where the collections are, one thing I happen to have available is the Discovery. This is like the cleanest render we ever saw of the ship.
Yeah.
Which is great. But this is where, and Eaglemoss isn't canon, because it gives them the meters here, but that's the only time you actually get to see the meters. But it's still interesting, and this is why, even though I don't necessarily want half of the Discovery collection, the Klingon ships, this is what you get it for, because these have the sketches in, and we know there was a lot of turmoil that happened in Discovery Season 1, and if you're trying to fill a magazine, you can't just not say anything, you can't just gild, rose-tinted glasses over all of the troubles while designing things, because they're going back to 2 years ago. Well, how do you design it? Talk to me about it. And it's interesting the nuggets that they say, because this is going to be here for more years. If they lie in the initial magazine, well, it's only misinformation. So trying to see what those little bits are in these magazines, that's the really interesting stuff. The sketches you can't find anywhere else. This is like, oh, that's interesting, that's good,
Yeah, there's a lot of great nuggets in those magazines, and thank God they finally clued in. And the Star Trek Online, the Discovery run, and probably the Universe ones have the books inside the boxes, as opposed to a regular magazine size with the small from the collection, which is annoying as hell, by the way. So
I mean, yes and no. I get that, but also you're now getting a lot less value for the magazine because they just don't put much in, and if you're doing it for the renders,
that's true.
You don't get it for the magazine, fine, and they did paddle the magazines with stuff you don't care about, but this is not as worth it as whatever. Now it works fine for the XLs, although I've got this honest who looked at them and was saving them. But let me read. Did you have this one? I assume you don't have this one to hand.
No, I don't.
Let me show it off first.
I'm not even sure I got that one.
Oh, I got them all, Stuart. I got them all.
I know. I get what they send me, basically.
Yes. So here's the second camera view. Full screen, baby. To plan out. This is one of the ones we actually like, isn't it? Overall.
Is that the T-Planet, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Overall, we like this one, which is nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And definitely, you appreciate the whatever details there are here more. And actually, it's an interesting variant of design. Nope. Of design. But let's read what they say in the magazine about it. Because that's why I like getting these. Designing the Planahath. Inspired by the NX-01, the Planahath was named for a Vulcan philosopher and the first Vulcan ship to make contact with humanity. The Planahath... oh, that's great. The Planahath was briefly considered as a possible design for the USS Discovery. And the Shinjo, before being reimagined as one of the fleet ships. It's a very compact shape that as John Eve said, has a lot in common with the USS Shran. Mr. Fuller was gravitating towards these very flat designs since he liked that kind of shape. They started doing a lot of designs that were in the same territory. This was a kind of feather off of the Shran, which was a saucer with two nacelles running through it. This was a sort of future version of that, where the nacelles were on extended pylons. We designed them about the same time. I imagined them both as being test beds for experimental warp nacelles. Always the cop-out.
It is, yeah.
Eves was always working on different ways to approach the nacelles to the saucer. In this case, instead of mounting them on pylons, he encased them in hoops that went over the saucer. This idea was that since the ship was used for testing different designs of nacelles, they could slide in and out of the open frame. We said that. We absolutely said that. They could swap nacelles out. We said that in our first look. We still thought that all these ships have experimental warp nacelles, so we made the nacelle supports very briefly because we figured that would be better if they were doing experimental stuff. So experimental nacelles, which is why they're square. That's his original pencil sketch.
It's like the Star Trek Battlestar Galactica just launched fighters out of those.
Slash and Millennium Falcon with the back bit a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not. It's more TOS-y. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
Without their weird colours and detailing.
Most of the design sketches are.
Yeah. Just changing the cells and it's weird, but okay. Alterations. Eve produced a sketch that was sent to the VF Visual Effects, who, as usual, made a very simple model for him to paint over in Photoshop. When he got the model, Eve instantly felt there was a problem with the design. Closes book. No, the nacelles were kind of square, so it looked like a Fury Road steering wheel. There was no visual sense as to what was the front and what was the back, so I extended the nacelles a bit like the tail of a kite. Terribly spelled. Once the Eves had made the adjustments to the model, it went back to the VFX team, who modified the model before they added details to it. I've always tried to be conscious of earlier stuff, and I use the NX-1 as reference. I wanted each ship to progress from what came before. There are a bunch of little details in there, like the deflector dish, the shape of the saucer, and the nacelles, which was based on what? Based on what? They missed it. What? The shape of the saucer and the nacelles was based on what, as well as making it an engine testbed.
Okay.
I think they missed out some words there.
Right.
And then they put in fly through shuttle bays. So there you go, Stuart. That's the brief on this ship.
See, the intended purpose of ships, those little nuggets that are in there are great. So the magazines are definitely worth it. Yeah. There's a lot of good stuff in the Eaglemoss line. Now, Dan23 asked, are we disappointed that they don't have moving parts? Yes, they should make like a articulated line that has, bird of prey with articulated wings or something like that. But honestly, there's four different birds of prey that you can get. or at least 3. There's the flight configuration with them straight out. There's the attack configuration with the wings down, and there's the landing configuration with the landing gear. It's a way to sell more product, it seems. Some of the articulation that you could do, like on the Voyager for the nacelles, would be great and relatively easy to do. So it is disappointing that they don't have articulated parts, but at the same time, I understand why. It'd be more difficult to make the models, to engineer them, and to have the cost be down. So I get why they don't, but a lot of them could definitely benefit from it, is my rather detailed answer.
Well, let's say if the XL Voyager is £40, which I think it is, would you buy an articulation Voyager for £70? £30 more, under half, under double.
I would buy an XL version of any of these ships lit and articulated for almost double the cost.
Well, lit would certainly be double, but but then if it broke, would you complain to the people, or would you just say, well, I took the risk in buying articulation? Because it'd be your fault that it broke.
Shouldn't break though.
But if
there's a lot of articulated toys and things, like even Playmates.
Ship.
Like, that's bullshit answer, unfortunately.
But it's like the solar sailors. That's their fault.
Some of them are really dainty, like the small ones. Yeah, I understand no articulation, but for the XLs, I think that's nut. There should be like a classics or a legends line that they can do that has that. That would be cool.
And also, a source separation, multi-vector assault mode. All 3.
Yeah.
What I want to talk about, or do you have one you want to bring out and talk about? Because I just did one.
I can go take a look, but
I assumed you had several lined up.
No, I didn't. I just have them over there in case we brought up one in particular. I could go grab something.
Go grab one you want to talk about. I'll talk to the fans. I'd pay for that, Chris. Yeah, I mean, Bird of Prey maybe. I would. Kind of cool, but then you want a bigger ship. Voyager, I don't really feel the need. I'd rather have a nacelles up version for the same price. I mean, it'd be cool to have a Prometheus that could split, and certainly, it'd be fun to get a Prometheus XL. I believe that's somewhere in the way. Yes, you can. You can just cut the roll bar off the runabout and have 2 runabouts, which many people have done. Let's see what you guys think. Yes, I'm sure they are. Ted Ferguson do the Blue and Chrome version.
When I just went to grab one, I realized there is at least one lit one. That is the Doomsday Machine. Yes. It does have a light in it.
Yes.
So,
which is fun. No, there's 2. There's also the Chiron.
I don't have that one, so I wasn't sure if that one had it or not. Well, one of the reasons that I do like the line is they get into stuff like this. See, all my thoughts are well documented on my reviews. But things like this. This is one of the original designs for Voyager, which I think looks fantastic as a starship design. So to see these come to life and be able to hold them, like you see them in the sketches by Rick Sternbach, but to actually be able to hold one and see the concept of what could have been. I wish this one had the fin, the sail on it, because that's actually my favorite version of this. But still, seeing concept ones come to life, and there's been like 4 concept ones of the Excelsior, which are also really cool to see what could have been. There's the Reliant, the way that Reliant was supposed to be with the cells on the top. Again, fantastic idea. And to be able to hold a piece of forgotten Trek history almost is fantastic. Like, I'm glad they've got into these, because these are really neat to look at and to imagine the what ifs, right? So have they done an Arrow shuttle?
Yes.
I don't think they. Oh, they have? I might have that one. I don't remember. See, I got a few. And they're not on display, so I don't go through them regularly, so I can't remember what I have and what I don't have, but you got them all, so curses to you.
Just assume that it's like saying, has Trekyards done it? Assume they have.
Yeah.
And certainly I'd agree with the that was a lovely one to get, and that was a pretty decent 3D model. And it's like with us looking at concept art, if they make more and more concepts, again, boy, no one's going to make those unless you make them. Until someone like is crazy enough to make them, but hey, I want to, and in fact, I'm not, don't know if it's 100% real, but I believe they're doing one of the Defiant concepts that we just reviewed.
Yeah, I think Dan23 was talking about that way early on before we even started the live.
Yeah, which is great. One of the earlier versions. I mean, that was a cool one we talked about very recently, so it was fresh in my mind. I mean, but those are hard for them because unlike most of the miniatures, they could just reutilize one from the show. They didn't have to pay for that, so it was a free model that they could then make money from for CBS. Whereas a new ship, they had to make a new model, which then costs the modelling and time and in the schedule. And if you got one every 2 weeks, you then got to book that well in advance. It can take 3 to 6 weeks to build a model. Well, then you obviously can't do that ready to go, and so you got to whenever there's that. And that Voyager was a fresh build, but also you got to get things approved because it's the first time it's been done in 3D. Although a lot of those models are built not to the bare minimum, but not built for more than is needed. Because of course it isn't, especially the miniatures, you aren't going to see the texture detail on the miniature because they're painting it on. They're not going to paint on the actual Aztecing in the same way perfectly. And the renders, again, most people don't look at the renders beyond a certain point, so they certainly stop it before the level I would want it to be. But that's just me.
Yeah, and I just thought of another one that's a fantastic model, almost a perfect model from Eaglemoss, is the XL Tinga. It is really, really beautiful.
I have that one myself. That was a special. No, I don't know. Was that an online exclusive, shop exclusive?
I think it might have been a shop exclusive, yeah.
Because I got all of the main ones, but that doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah, no, it's great. Like I said, I have a whole Eaglemoss review playlist. Go check those out, guys, if you're interested. Olivia Julius puts in $5 and says, when you are signing up for the contest, the Summer Sweepstakes contest, just name your code. Your name code is Olivia Julius. So there you go. Not a band account, $2.
Thank you.
When will Eaglemoss release the HMS Bounty from Star Trek 4? That'd be great. Have a landed configuration with HMS Bounty like spray painted on the side. That would be fantastic. And I think they'll get into specialist stuff like that when they run out of other stuff.
Well, they've done so many things. It depends how far I want to stretch it, which is fine. There is always more. There's one-offs, etc., etc.
Yeah. A Saucy Puppet Show puts in $5.
Thank you.
I always thought it would be cool if they sold separated versions of the Enterprise D and Prometheus, preferably as a set, not individual ships. Yes, things like that sold as a set, even if they're the smaller versions, would be great. And even have a display stand where you can display all the pieces. That would be awesome, actually. There's been some AMT, or was it Ertl models in the past where you got like the different Enterprises. You had the display stand where you could put all the Enterprises on, or the Enterprise and the Klingon D7 and the Romulan Bird of Prey, with a stand to accommodate. I think those would be great. Even Franklin Mint did one of those with the 3 TOS ships, and they're fantastic.
I know there's a licensing. Everything's a license.
Yes.
And they couldn't make the J.J. Abrams models at the regular size because the license only allowed them to make them big. Because JJ wanted them big, whatever, it was a licensing thing. And they can't make the Discovery ones the same size as the regular ones because, again, licensing issues, which is weird because they licensed them to CBS, but it's just illegal, they can't just do that. So I'm sure, and also, the reason they don't make the XLs bigger is because other companies have the licenses for, 5 inches or bigger, 8 inches, but, there's specific arrangements of size versus small. I'm sure Micro Machines has a certain size as well, or tabletop games. So I'm sure the pulling it apart is a different license that they've got to do, which isn't undoable. But they've if they haven't done it by now, or if they've finished the collection, there was a reason for them not to do it the entire time.
Yeah. Here's another one of my faves. This is the Yellowstone Class runabout. And the runabouts, the shuttles, the XL shuttles are great. Even the Discovery one is nice. Honestly, it's got a nice weight to it. But these are so well detailed and look so good. I just wish I had display room to display them all the ones I really like. But maybe one day I will. Who knows? So.
Yeah, that one I like a lot for its weight and such, but the model is a fan model, but they used off the internet, so it's not fully accurate, and it's only limited detail, and the fact the underside is basically unpainted, like it could have been a lot better. And it's fine if you just like, you know, for a shelf, but that one should have been a lot better.
There's a lot of them that should have been a lot better.
Well, yes, sure, but that one, it was easy, you know. Especially they didn't use the one from DS9 for some reason.
Well, see, that's the other thing. Maybe licensing issues, or they had somebody.
No, I mean the 3D model.
I know, but somebody that works at Eaglemoss is like, "Hey, my friend has this cool 3D model." Like,
yep. No, that's what it was. It was they just didn't. You know, they already had a model that they may or may not have thought was original because, you know, and it wasn't. Oh, oops, which I've done a couple of times.
And I do have the one that I said was like my favorite one of all of them, and that is the Tos Original Viper. Only one issue with this one: the fin is a little offset, and it's like that on all of them as well. It leans a little bit that way, just a tad. But other than that, this is beautiful. Very simple, but very beautiful. So
I think seeing it physically, it shows it's a little bit out of proportion. Like it's a little bit of bulky, which may work for like jet propulsion, but it's just like, whereas the new one's a little bit more sleek.
Yeah, but
it might be too sleek, but that was a little bit too bulky. It's odd when you finally get to see things. Now I want to bring one up that I happen to have right here because I like it in general. Ah, that's so loud.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. It's just very loud. So, one issue that was one of the latest ones they did perplexes me to no end.
Oh, good God.
Yeah. And it's a prime ship, prime thing, so we're going to... I'm very glad they made it. Like, happy... But I'm, going to call out when they do problems. So this is their regular one space station model, right? Which is a fresh build by the team, or maybe Tobias's model, but I don't quite know because that in itself is a problem. Have you had this model yet?
Which one is it?
Regular one.
I don't have regular one, no. I do have the space dock, though.
So what I find interesting about this one, and when I opened it, the magazine somewhere else, but obviously they got a miniature, cool. They got the box, cool. They had the renders inside the magazine of the 3D model and pictures of the space station from the thing. This miniature is not the same model as the 3D model that you do all the renders for. And
what? It's
missing details from the miniature, which is in the magazine. And so the magazine shows 3 versions, conceptually. And it's like, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but there are just things about this that just, it's not the same model that's in the renders. So what model are they using if because they base it on a 3D model, but it's not the same model. It's got different geometry, it's got different detail levels, and it's missing things. Why are there 2 models?
Could it be that they did the renders for the magazine and then they ended up changing the model because of some details? They just decided to swap out the model or something
the model,
for the final production?
Models take a year to go from concept to production. The renders can take... I know I've heard when they've done renders like the same month the magazine comes out. So renders are done far later. So the other way around. But it's just like, you had the model and this is a fine looking model. Like, simple thing, the top antenna is like, there's no, it's not hollow. And other little things. It's just so odd to me.
Yeah, that top part doesn't look right, does it?
And I'm trying to remember what I saw was different. I had to go in and look more carefully, but it was very strange. I'm not saying necessarily wrong, but it was just when you could compare the box art, the magazine art, the show art, and the miniature, and they're all different. It's like, oh, well, someone didn't do their job right. But if you just hold this, it doesn't matter, And this is I think a bit too small, personally. I think that's a little bit too small for, especially the box size feels like it's going to be huge. Like, I feel like it should be a bit chunkier than that. This is definitely not an impressive scale. The detail's great, as in, they cram good physical detail in, but the sizing is just like 20% too small for me to actually have an impact. But it's lean. I mean, look how much space they're not using.
Yeah, no kidding, eh?
I don't know how you would improve that because of the width, but
well, you could have the bottom part detached and be stored in a
that's a whole separate
part of the box.
Yeah, but they don't do
I know, but it's a simple click it in kind of thing. Like, it doesn't have to be complicated.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Let's get to some of these super chats while we can here.
That's interesting. They've removed TOS from the box. It now just says Star Trek, Voyager, DS9, TNG, Enterprise, Discovery, and Picard.
Star Trek's on the side though.
Yeah,
that's the TOS one.
But I mean, in the olden days, they had them all on the box before they had Discovery and Picard. Oh no, maybe they didn't. Well, no, that's a normal one. Oh no, just have to find an old one. Huh.
Yeah, the Star Trek's always been on the TOS one's always been on the back, like the top at the bottom of the box kind of thing. Lewis Cox though, £2. Stargate ships, please, Eaglemoss. I've heard that they're going to be doing Stargate ships, but I haven't seen anything.
Fully announced. They said they're rebuilding 3D models, which is odd because the 3D models are really good from the show. I think they're.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what they're doing.
Speaking of, I'm like, what's episode 3 into Stargate Atlantis, and Stargate Atlantis has some really good starship porn in it.
Yup.
Yeah. Olivia Julius, $5. Has Eaglemoss done the whale probe yet? Should be easy. Baseball bat and baseball. I think there's a whale probe.
No, there isn't.
Okay, I haven't got it, so I don't know.
I'd love it, but there isn't. That would be great though.
Turd Ferguson, $5. Will they do a Babylon 5 and Stargate? So I want Star Fury and Daedalus. Also, Blood and Chrome era up armored Galactica.
That one they are doing.
Yeah, that one they are doing. I have heard that. Babylon 5, I don't know, man.
Well, the interest isn't there from people in general. Is the main reason. Plus, all the 3D models are really old and they wouldn't do. So every single ship would have to be rebuilt, which makes it far more expensive and time consuming. And if people are interested in buying them so much, and it's not exactly a very big franchise. It's a very quality franchise, but not a big franchise. Although I'm going to
go see if I can find that Katinga to show you.
Yes.
Hold on a second here.
I would certainly get some Babylon 5 for sure, but it's certainly not a big franchise very much. Yes, they have made ones from Alien as well. Firefly, yes, certainly Firefly. Yeah, Strange would be nice, but you'd want a really big Firefly, although sort of what's the point almost. But guys, we are at 72 likes with under half the super chats we need for today's live. So why don't you guys, if you can, put in $1. What is your favourite Eaglemoss model that you own? $1. I'd love to see what you guys think. If there's some sort of consensus. I mean, if you don't have $1, put in just the chat. What's been your favourite one so far? I'd love to see. For me personally, I've really enjoyed the Pegasus. That's I've always enjoyed the ship. That obviously helped. I'm a bit biased. I really enjoyed their Scimitar. So I was sad for Stuart didn't like it. Yes, ThinkPad, yes. So the Wahlberg tug ship looks awful. If that's the... Yeah, the colours are very odd on that. Very odd.
And I didn't think about this beforehand, but
Ooh.
I actually have... like 3 XL discoveries. Should have done a giveaway. For some reason, they keep sending me discoveries. I don't know why.
I think they're telling you something, Stuart. Like Discovery, please.
They can't sell them is probably what the reason is.
Because that definitely will make people want to get them as giveaways then.
So here's the Katinga, and this thing is fantastic.
Let me put you full screen. Hold on, because I made that a thing.
Okay.
For some reason that's... where have you gone? Where's the Stuart gone? Big Stuart. Okay, that is not where it should be, but I will just move this. That's weird. Okay.
And yeah, if you want full detailed looks at these, I've done reviews, like I said, so check them out.
Yeah, you're full screen now. You can.
All right.
Bloop. There you go.
So here it is. Some really nice detailing on this thing. Got the Klingon writing there. The logo on the bottom. This is just like a perfect Eaglemoss ship. Like, it's so nicely done. Come on, focus. Focus. But anyway, yeah, the Katinga is a great model. This has to be one of my favorites for sure from Eaglemoss for the Star Trek stuff, and the XLs. Very nicely weighted too. I love how they incorporate both metal and plastic into these, because there's like metal parts and there's plastic parts, and you can tell the difference just by tapping them. But even just this is cold at the top because it's metal and the bottom's plastic. So, but yeah. There's the back. We were just talking about a D7 today, but look at that. So, there you go. The Katinga XL. Beautiful. Definitely one I'll put on display when I have more room to display stuff. I'll mute this while I put the styrofoam back.
Good man. Yes. No, it's good, and it's the fact that we can. There's so many things that we can actually forget what they've had, but they've pretty much had everything. You know, even things
there's a few ships that people bring up occasionally. It's like, yeah, that one hasn't been seen. Like the whale probe would be a simple one for them to do. And it could even be another lit one, honestly.
I think at some point they probably learned their lesson a little bit on the Solar Sailor, because I'm sure they had like tens of thousands of dollars of returns. You know, like that probably broke a few. You know. But also, especially now the collection's done, primarily, that would be a special, which means the size has to be bigger. It's a tube. They'd have to make at least 500,000 sales or whatever. Now, obviously, I would get it to be funny. But...
You just reminded me of another one that's great. Another one of my favorites. That I said was my favorite when I reviewed it. And that is the Warp Shuttle from
yes,
Motion Picture, the XL one. That's a fantastically detailed
That's a
model.
standout one, yeah.
Yes, yes.
And do you want to know why it's standout?
Because you know who did the model.
Because Rob Bonshun did the model from scratch, and he is, he's very attention to detail. You can kind of tell because he put extra time into everything. That's why that's part of why the Vulcan land is very good. Architecting is very good. They made for us. And some other ones he's done, but that was.
Did he do the Katinga for them then?
No, not that one. He did our Katinga. He took his existing Katinga that wasn't used, and then he upgraded it for us, which was lovely.
Nice.
And that's a very detailed. Cause he although he's annoyed because they completely changed all the colours after he handed it off. He painstakingly matched it to the miniature, and they painstakingly unmatched it to what's seen on the screen, and also slightly wrong as well. So he was like, "That's not what it looks like," but okay. Well, it's the argument of is the Katinga blue, green, or grey? Yes, that is the answer.
Ironically, this is not the Katinga. This is a D7, but this is one of the model kits. It's got the light blue neck, got the gray, and then it's got the light blue on the bottom. Like it's molded to color. There's light blue here. There's gray on top. Like it's definitely got the right color scheme, which. We did a comparison of the Katinga and the D7 with Rob. Fantastic video, by the way. So yeah, go check that out. But this is not Eaglemoss, by the way. This is one of the Polar Lights snap together kits, but they got the colors nice. So.
Personally, for me, I don't understand the light pale greeny blue. It doesn't look nice to me. The grey is fine. The grey has always been fine to me. So, I would actively change it if it was a pale green. Not everything... Because that's the thing, once it appears on the screen, that's the canon. Was Kirk's tunic gold or green? Although I saw a recent set of arguments about it. Some people think they're right on both sides. But when one of the people has actually physically went to the Star Trek soundstage in the 90s and was shown an original Season 2 tunic in person, took images out flash, and if he tells you it's gold... I mean, it's an original tunic. So, or Wives' Tale being green and it changed. He says, he physically saw one, held one, take pictures of one. He said it was mostly gold with a little bit of green, but it's not like green. You know, what point can you argue with someone that was there?
Yeah.
Part of his wraparound, obviously, that was green.
Yeah. Lewis Cox, 2 pounds. Firefly ships, 2, please, Eaglemoss.
Well, there's so few of them. That's the thing. Once you get past the Serenity and then the Serenity Shuttle, it's like, well, what would you do? I mean, the Reaver ship, fine, and then a few others, maybe, but, you know, doing their kit bash fleet, you wouldn't want to do. Or their fleet, which is fine. I mean, just get Serenity's good enough, personally. But
I mean, they've done some limited ones, like the alien ships, Nostromo and stuff like that.
They did quite a few, though. They did 7 or 8. Because they did Landers, they did Troop Truck. It was a full collection.
Yeah, and I've reviewed a lot of those as well, like the drop ship and the armored transport thing, and
all those ships made by Ed Jennings, one of the other team members. Who made the DS9 model.
Nice.
Yes, which is actually rather good. I have that one.
John Chamness throws in $5.
John!
Hey guys, great to see you alive again. I would love to see them tackle Farscape, especially the organic textures.
That'd be good. They have a lot of unique ship designs. But those 3D models, which obviously I've searched for, as you can imagine, my work on Trekyards, but they're made by an Australian company, so that's not the ecosystem any of us exist in. So if they didn't say, and it's done in Max, which is another conversion process.
I'd love to see like a classic sci-fi line, like how stuff like 2001, like the Discovery from 2001,
Buck Rogers,
the ship from Buck Rogers, ship from Forbidden Planet,
Mars Attack ship, saucer. But that's the same with having to build the new Eaglemoss ships, whereas BSG, all of the models are handed to them. There's no investment into models. You just make them. Same with Discovery, whereas every single one of those have to be built from scratch. And then, you know, if you make them big, you have to do them high quality. If you're looking at, I don't want to say how much they are for a model, but, you know, it escalates. And so the build, and if you want to do a line of 6 guaranteed, okay, 6 will take you 5 to 6 months to build, and you dedicate one of your modelling team that you've only got several of because they keep it very in-house away from the normal lines. So now you haven't got work on the normal lines, and you got to make all 6 all be sent to the factory a year in advance minimum, so they get in production. So you've now lost 6 months and you're a year and a half away, which means you've got to have a build-up of the other lines to make sure... You know what I mean? It's very hard to start new things, whereas Orville, how many model? Converted... Okay, 2 days. You know? And what if, you know, the company is so prideful about their license, which they should be, they want 4 or 5 passes of revisions for, say, the Discovery, whatever. It's tricky. And a ship like the Star Wars things, I mean, the amount of greeblies you'd have to build makes it just much harder. Yeah. Stuff you don't think about.
Chris Gwillem, 2 pounds, skint as Sam, but Voyager XL.
To have there. I liked that,
Voyager.
But
my first one was broken. It was actually missing one of the blue strips from one of the warp nacelles.
Yes.
So they did replace it for me, but now I've got one without. And I can probably jury rig something up, being a model builder, just get some clear styrene or whatever, but...
Yeah, that one is a little bit too small and not quite popping in terms of paint decals. It was one of the like, first 3 XLs that wasn't quite there. I like it, but it could be better. Which is, you know, with like the Discovery stuff, they're all like nice models. Up to the limitation of, you know, whatever the actual models were. But all the texturing is only rather good.
Northern Dawn says, I'd like to see some Jerry Anderson models.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
But then you've got to fight licenses from other people who've made them in the past. So now, well, what size could you do them? And Eaglemoss is specifically milled to do a certain size of model. If you've got to go beyond that, now you've got to do a whole new structure and factory. And, I mean, be happy that they've done so much. And if the Stargate stuff comes out, that would be awesome. You know, hopefully they've done either very good 3D models or use the original models. Because, you know, they're not going to make a second X3 or 4, are they? Well, they might make 4. Daedalus, Odyssey, Apollo, and... You know, what's the difference? The nameplate! Is that it? Yes!
Yes.
Great! Thanks!
Oh, I'm very disappointed, too, by the way, for... They destroyed the Orion already. It's like they had it for an episode.
No, Stuart, the Hippofracalpus. Name it right, Jesus.
Oh, well, there you go.
Orion's the Earth name, you know? Don't be a John Shepard, be a Roddy McKay.
I am Canadian.
Now, do you like that ship better now you've seen it do some stuff?
Yeah.
It's a really nice 3D model, as you know.
One thing I don't like is the ZPM. ZPM. I hate that he says Z all the time just because he's Canadian. That's bullshit. It's the ZPM.
It is ZPM. Although great design for a battery, space battery.
Yeah. Guardian 1326, $5.
Thank you.
What about the sailing ship Enterprise from Generations?
Would you have to license that from the Navy?
British Royal Navy? Yeah.
Possibly. Oh, that could be a fun line doing the you know. But then then they've got to paint wood texture. You know, there's certain things, and would Trek fans really buy that in the same amount? I don't think.
If they all came together, or as
the
one a month, and it had like a wall plaque that you could place each one on, in kind of like the order that you see it in the briefing room. Yes, they would. So there's ideas like that, right?
Yeah.
Michael Abbott puts in £5. First time messaging. Admired your work for some time. You have done some amazing work.
Oh.
My fave is the XL Reliant. Great detail and my go-to on to pick up. Yeah, the Reliant was fantastic. Again, another fantastic XL. And there I am. All right, cool. And considering that it's got so much in common with the Refit Enterprise, I was actually surprised how good it was, because the Refit Enterprise just dropped the ball in so many areas that they could have reused molds or parts, I guess, for this one, and they didn't. It was its own thing. So yes.
Yeah, it's because that model was made by Fabio several years earlier to be extremely good for the magazine. It's a very, very good 3D model, and Refit was not the same model. But yes, it makes it silly when you've already built those parts, etc.
Yeah. Mini Ontium 69, Mini Ontium, $5. Eaglemoss should do Flight of the Navigator and the Explorer's ship, Thunder Road. They should do a lot of things. Like a Blake 7 ship would be great. Like when you start talking about ship models you'd like from franchises that you enjoy, there's so many that come to mind. Yeah. So. But that's the problem, licensing and getting it all under one umbrella. Like if they could do a sci-fi classics line that includes these ships, that'd be great. But yeah.
But then if you have to pay a $50,000 license to the BBC to get Blake 7 ship for one model, and that's it, and you're paying that license fee, and it's a yearly, that keeps going, and so you'd have to make a massive amount of profit to make that worth it. That's why you build it over time. That's why Eaglemoss released so much so quickly. It's tricky. It's very tricky. But I agree. That's why fan films are great, because we can kind of use stuff without paying license fees because we're a fan film. Which I do want to delve back. Oh, it's not Eaglemoss related. Someone mentioned it earlier, and it got me thinking. Whale probe. Put that in a fan film.
Yeah.
How would that be? See that in 3D.
That'd be awesome. Now, would it be a deactivated whale probe?
Yeah. How'd that be to find a? Oh, he's gone. Yeah,
or is it the whale probe?
No, I was
on its way back, got shut down by some kind of anomaly or something.
Well, I was visualizing that what if one of the ships, presumably Horizon, but whichever, finds a deactivated, dead, abandoned whale probe with the ball outstretched, and so we see the ship next to the ball in the insane detail that it is, and we scan it, and it's just like, a ship like this stopped Earth 100 years ago. What do we do with it? Would that be interesting? To see a ship
absolutely it would be. It's a great idea.
But like I said, given the fact that Earth's space dock is the size of the ball, the scaling would be. Although no, I guess you say that, but Earth's space dock, if the door is the Enterprise refit scale, and Horizon is quite a lot larger, then I mean it's,
Yeah, it'd be fine. It'd be fine.
I mean it'd be absurd, but I don't know. Would you guys like to see that like a mini short of Horizon finding a device that looks like a whale probe and some fun geeky dialogue and it blows up at the end for some reason? I don't know.
That'd be cool.
and then we have to go back to the Temporary line of saying there were actually whales controlling it. That'd be the payoff, wouldn't it?
Just evolves Cindy Aquatics that got sucked through a temporal anomaly at some point.
Temporal. So that'd be fun. Yeah. Or an offshoot. The Zindi Aquatics went off to their own thing. Proto Aquatics. Yeah. All the Sphere Builders took them into the past, and they rebelled.
And they evolved.
That's kind of fun. It was the Sphere Builders' first plan was to make future aquatics. They made whale people. They just became really friendly with space whales.
It should be worth noting too that Eaglemoss just doesn't do ships. There's also like the
Hello.
There we go. Also like the Batmobile line. There's DC busts. There's the Star Trek graphic novel collection. They also have the books that take all of the all of the ships magazines and just make them a compilation. So there's some really good books and stuff too if you're interested in that from Eaglemoss as well. So there's a lot more to Eaglemoss than just the ships, guys.
I wouldn't even say they've milked the license so much as they've condensed it, because to get the magazines, yes, I might own all 150 whatever, but just to get the book, I saved you 150 buys, and it's very little work for them. But then they look nice, they're well presented. Even like the Voyager Companion DS9, it's just reused stuff from fat files they made 25 years ago. Mm-hmm. But I mean, if you can't access that information visually, does it matter? Only for hardcore collectors like us, I have a lot of that collection.
Yeah.
But it's new to other people.
But it's all in one space too, so you don't have to go hunting for your magazines. Although they're coming out with the TOS one as well. And they're also coming out with a Battlestar Galactica, designing Battlestar Galactica ships one.
I saw that. And since there were so few sketches, I'd be really interested to see what they can pull out of the archives.
Yeah.
Because any one unique thing is fun. And obviously, we've done some Discovery concept stuff where I explicitly use pictures from that magazine to show stuff.
But guys, 90 likes, 96 people here. If you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button. Let's get to at least 100. I think we can do that easily. Probably 120 actually at this point. Hit it.
Do it.
Matt Boardman with $5. I'll build a well probe for you.
Matt,
you got other things to do, Matt.
He always does. It's like all three of us have things to do. But Matt, how annoying will that displacement map be? Because I feel that has to be an octane render or nothing. Do it as a hybrid. How many texture layers do you think you'd need to do the exterior? Because you wouldn't model that. Let me know in the chat, Matt. How many? I'm gonna send you a still so you can look at it.
And Matt Bourne with another $5. The Horizon crew meets a whale that is the equivalent of Thor in Stargate SG-1. There you go. Sergeant Montgomery, $2. Anyone make a Gunstar 1 from Last Starfighter? There are some resin model kits of the Gunstar. My buddy Blappy used to make them when he did resin model kits. So they are out there, but nothing like from Eaglemoss kind of quality. So no.
That would certainly be a classic for sure.
Yeah.
And since that really only has one ship, that well, give or take, but
yeah. Guardian 1326 puts in $5.
Thank you
so much. What about the USS Cygnus from Disney's The Black Hole for a classic ship? Yeah, and the Palomino. Even a droids collection from Eaglemoss would be great, like Maximilian, Old Bob, R2D2. Again, that's Disney, so you can't really tread on their territory. But there are droids for different things. Even Robbie the Robot that you see in Forbidden Planet and other things as well. The Lost in Space robot. That'd be a great line, actually. I would definitely get that.
Yeah, they definitely have to pick franchises where licenses you can have multiple in one to kind of make that worth it. And those models have only unlike spaceships where everything's micro detail. You can always make a door more poly. Droids are only so detailed. There is a finite amount of detail, and a lot of it's cloned. 2 legs, 2 nacelles, but there is definitely cloned detail. But what sort of scale would you want to make it? Like, because you've obviously got a lot of R2D2s, what will be the sort of the scale to make it worth buying a collection of them, etc.? for you personally as a big
honestly
toy
like a
fan?
1/6
Well,
scale
show
would be
me
fantastic.
that means nothing. I mean, show me because they'll all be.
1/6 scale like R2D2 is about that big.
Because assume they'd all be in the same box as with Eaglemoss, so what will be sort of the biggest it could be. Yeah.
I wouldn't know then, honestly. Like 1/6 scale, like sideshow collectibles and stuff.
That size?
6 1/6 figures, which are
Ooh.
human figure would be like that big.
So head sized.
So if you got like a human or C-3PO, it'd be like that big.
Yeah. I mean that'd be collector's piece. But then how much would you pay for that? You know, would you pay 130 Canadian for that? Assuming it'd be metal and plastic, same deal as the other one.
I think 100 would kind of be the cap for that.
Canadian.
Yeah.
Because that's only 20 Canadian more than their BSG line for a much bigger model.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. There's a point where it's not worth it. Like BSG is just, I mean, it's like on that line of, ooh, you know?
Yeah. But no, the Cygnus would be great. The Cygnus is a great ship, and it's very detailed. There'd be a lot of little small parts on that, depending how big they do the scale. So, Jamal Taylor, $5. A Buck Rogers line would be nice, but so many Reliant variants. Yeah, Buck Rogers line would be kind of cool, actually. There's quite a few ships. I'd like to get Hawk's ship. I would love a model of Hawk ship. I don't know if there are any. There might be some resin kits out there and stuff, but the Thunder Fighter, I think you can get a few different versions of that. So, but yeah, there's so many opportunities for Eaglemoss to come up with. But knowing that Stargate's on the way is kind of a good thing.
And they just released a new or Trek Collector is just reviewed the next batch of the shuttles, Eaglemoss Shuttle Collection, which are very, very small. And they've got 4 that you would never think of, which is, again, part of the fun, although obscure. They're the Cargo Shuttle Type 9A, not 6A, which is one that was only the technical manual, so just a very long TNG shuttle, which is a rather good-looking design. The Captain's Yacht, the Calypso, a tug, or a little work bee-style vessel that flies around as a miniature in Earth space dock like 3 times, and Cyrano Jones's ship. So you know.
Really? Wow.
A miniature that was just thrown in as an Easter egg and a thing. Amazing.
Yeah, the shuttle collections are great. Actually, I have 3 of the shuttle collections. I'm missing the first one.
Yes.
But the first one's really hard to get a hold of.
Exactly.
We're talking about with limited. Yeah. So, but they're really cool. They come with like little. See-through MSDs.
All done by Denise or Mike Akuda. All done by Mike. Yeah. And most of them custom. Like most of them were never fleshed out that way. And for custom ones like Janeway's SC shuttle, etc., they had to then make sense. And so they occasionally bring the extra value.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they ever really have concept art for those things for a lot of the stuff.
Yeah. Well, we hit 100 likes. So thank you guys. And since we've been talking about this Eaglemoss goodness, there's a Eaglemoss link down below. If you click that, head on over there. You can fill up your cart with some cool stuff and use the discount code Trekyards10 when you check out to save yourself 10% off. So there you go. You can do that if you want to.
And not to circle back in a whatever way, but put in the chat right now, would you be interested in watching a short mini fan film involving the the whale probe? Put in the comments. Yes or no? I mean, we won't have to back it. It's already, Trek's already been backed. But would you
I vote yes.
Okay.
I want to see a whale probe versus a doomsday machine. Make it happen. Being refereed by a sovereign class.
With a cloaked scimitar just behind it for lols. Like a predator.
Yes. Yes, they have the Delta Flyer. Does Eaglemoss still F up window alignments? They've kind of got better with that, honestly, but yeah, you're still going to find some that aren't. Yeah, it's just a thing, because usually those are put on, they say they're hand painted, but a lot of them, those windows are like stamped, so they kind of stamp a few, like a section at a time. So if one's misaligned, they all are.
Yeah, I think hand painted is such a you know, if one person does quality check and does a dab, it's hand painted by technical definition. No one thinks each model is hand painted as a mass produced thing. No one thinks that. Of course not. You know.
Yeah. So, one thing I think they should do is either like some ship cutaways would be cool, or even like bridges. Like a TOS bridge where you get a different bridge section each month. You get the whole bridge. You wall mounted maybe. You get the Wrath of Khan style. Like there's so many
plenty of bridges.
There.
Plenty.
Exactly.
Wow. And
it would be easy to do. They're 3D modeled, a lot of them. So I mean, you've already got that going for you. Well, I've seen quite a few.
What?
There we go. Yeah, I've seen a few of them on YouTube that people have made.
Oh, well, the fan ones. They can't buy fan ones.
Well, exactly. Well, to get them modeled, I guess, but whatever.
And also, then you got
can't be that hard to do.
No, sure, no, but like I said, the same thing. If they got 3 people on the team, as they do, that'll take months and months. Yeah. That's a great idea, though. Although, if you're also taking it apart, you've then got to have design it so you can put together, which takes a lot of engineering. You know, a 3D modeler isn't also an engineer by default, so then you've got to have 2 people to work together unless they're just like magnets, maybe. But then shipping magnets across the world might be illegal in some places, whatever. But let me show you one thing that is cool. It's similar to a bridge, and it is. I mean, it is a bridge, but it isn't. So talk for a second. I'll move from just get.
All right. Let's see here. Do you collect attack wing? I have a few attack wings. I don't really collect them per se. I've got a bunch that I got a while ago. I don't even play the game, so I have a friend that wants to show me how to play, but we just haven't got around to it. That was before COVID hit. So
I thought you were going to say that was Poe Dameron, and I was like, Stuart, he's fictional. Just my brain went to that for some weird reason. So this is something that is pretty cool, and for me, very, special.
Oh.
You know, they made, I think, 5 of these TARDISes. Wow. And, I've also got a model list because I had it modeled years ago. But a full... do I have my full screen still around?
So is that an Eaglemoss one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yes, sir. Which is why it's cool. I did have everything here, but I guess they don't like it. Okay, all right. But yeah, Eaglemoss, I was really pleased they made it. It's lovely in detail. I mean, a lot of repeated parts, as you can see. But, it's a good scale, got a lovely weight. I was very pleased. It's my favourite TARDIS. So.
Is it action figure scale? Like...
no.
There are Doctor Who action figures.
No. Oh, I don't know. I mean, no. Just like 30% off, probably. No, just off.
That sucks.
Oh, yeah. I like how the painting... This is probably hand-painted because you can see how, it's clearly fudged. Like, they did not get, misalignment. All the paint's collecting together. But I mean, that's like looking insanely close. And they literally just dabbed paint. Boy, wow, that's bad. But I mean, did that, it's fine. And just, so that's a really weird, cool thing to make, I'm really pleased.
See, that should come in a box with the TARDIS. So you have the different TARDISes with the different control panels. Yeah, that's cool. And they
did actually change the exterior quite a lot throughout the show, more than you think. It's the TARDIS, but like the Tom Baker one is really fat, really, really fat. So yeah, they vary.
Well, we were gonna do like on Fleet Yards a week of TARDISes, a different TARDIS every day.
Yeah, I mean that was yeah. I mean we did start that modelling process, but that's was obviously going to be a huge investment. But we were going to make the investment. But then they had new Trek shows coming out, and people would rather see that, obviously, which is good. Actually.
I mean, if we get up to $2,000 a month on Patreon, we'd have more time to do these kind of things. But anywho,
it does make a difference. And guys, $50 more, and we are there. We've been slowly crawling up. So another 50 would be spectacular. And a nice chill Eaglemoss discussion. Oh. Saucy Puppet Show.
School bus.
What does Saucy say? What does Saucy say?
Oh. Next, shuttle set. Disco Shuttle Taxi, and Disco Shuttle School Bus. And Picard era Disco Shuttle. Because why not? It might be painted different. Who knows? But anyway. So yeah, if you guys are interested in any Eaglemoss, like I said, there is a link down below. Make sure you click the link to get there, because that shows them where the traffic's coming from. And then use the discount code Trekyards 10 if you want to pick yourself up some stuff. And I'm looking forward to the Universe line. I want to see a Cerritos. I want to see, you know, any new stuff. I mean, we've got a bunch of new stuff already. So please give us more. T. Louise Allen, $2. Got the box. Thanks, Cap and Commander. Oh, she got the mystery box. Sweet. I still haven't edited together the mystery box video yet, but now that I know you got it, I'll do that. Hopefully you enjoyed the stuff in there. Good job. Glad you got it. Lewis Cox, $2. Will there be any new Fleet Yards episodes? Yes, there will be eventually. We have a whole bunch of stuff in the folder for Fleet Yards. So,
yeah, wonderful double-edged sword Fleet Yards, but I have like 5. I spent 3 weeks prepping a batch to a very high standard.
Yeah.
I still haven't filmed those, but
yeah.
You know, everything. You know, there's a reason. But we made some lovely renders of that, which I'm very pleased with. That are different and fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of Trekyards original stuff that we have ideas for, but anyway, it'll happen eventually, maybe.
Although you certainly feel slightly less inclined to put the effort in when your income drops by like 15-20% each month on month. But then when the income does go up, obviously you guys are trying, like you regulars, you know, there's just a fact of how this all works. But then when the shows are on, we're so busy we can't do new content.
Yeah.
That's why I always say to Stuart, you know, we have to save during the good days and then don't complain to the, but we've tried not to in the last 3 months.
Yeah, it's been a rough 3 months for sure.
It's been progressively more rough, which is in itself rough. Even if it's not been rough, it's like, oh no, down to the 20%, down to the 15%. Oh no.
Yeah. Valkyrie 417 puts in $2. Just ordered my Reliant XL with your code.
Yes.
You will enjoy the Reliant XL, and thank you so much for using the code. That is awesome.
That does make a difference to us, actually. Let's be honest.
Reese York puts in $10. So thank you so much.
I like your picture.
Always happy to support model collecting habits.
I spent so much.
Yeah,
I Christmas presented for myself during their buy 2 get a third free. I believe it was. I bought every BSG ship I was missing. I spent about 270 Canadian on stuff I was missing. I was like, but I saved like 110 Canadian. So I was like, I mean, fuck it. Yeah. My simple reaction. I have one more cool, because we've been just doing D7 Slayer, never them both out. I just want to bring out both of the new D7s and show them and talk about them. That'll be kind of fun, the way to sort of start ending off the live. So you talk to the live chat for a sec.
All right. You heard the man, live chat. Let's get some more likes. I did want to get to 110 would be great. 120 would be even better, so another 14 likes. If you haven't hit the like button, please consider doing so. And also don't forget to check out the Eaglemoss website. Like we said, the link is down below. My internet doesn't freeze. There we go. I'm back. So let's see here. Your friend... Yours will be first stickers on my expedition. Oh, you got the Trekyard stickers. Sweet. Good. New Star Trek information coming on Friday because of Comic-Con. Yes, we know. We're well aware. USS Defiant NX 74205 is one of my fave ships in sci-fi. Okay. A lot of people like it. I'm not a huge fan of the Defiant, honestly, but it's definitely unique.
And that is obviously sacrilege, as you know.
Well, I got one right here. I mean, it's not like I don't have it. Like, what is this one? This is the Eaglemoss XXXL.
Oh,
this is the extra large. I'm just kidding. Yeah, the triple X. This is just the Playmates one, but
the X-rated one.
And With the little nose cone that does its thing.
Right, let's see. So I want... Aha! Second weapon. Okay. I'm going to put a... Well... My feet, ladies and gentlemen. Right, so...
What's happening?
Double D7s!
Oh, double D7s.
Yeah,
Right,
yes, cool. We're getting very inappropriate. Yeah, because I've never really sort of looked at them side by side. Let me just turn the thumbnail off. Yeah. Oh god. Oh!
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Well, everything went wrong there.
What did he break?
Oh my god. This is live television, guys. Nothing broke. That would have been awkward. That would have been... I got cables. Oh no. Oh, that's fine. Just... See, now I need 30 more bucks to buy a new D7. Super chat now so I can get a new D7. Oh dear.
Did it break?
No, I'm joking.
Oh, okay, good. Don't do that, man. 110 likes. Good, sweet. 9 more. We're at 111 right now. 9 more. Let's get to 120. Right, making everybody sick. Sweet. So this is the D7 and the... What is this?
The JJ D7 and
the
Kelvin D7. The new D7s. Thoughts?
I like the Kelvin one, honestly. When I reviewed that, I really admired a lot of the changes they made to that. It's one of the JJ ones that actually really holds up well. And the beefier neck, again, I love the beefy necks on those things. As opposed to the... Yeah, the Discovery one's kind of But I mean, it's considering what else Discovery did, that's pretty fantastic. Let's be honest. They're from two universes. They're from two universes that kind of suck ship design wise. So
I mean, it is super faithful as a ship, considering.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just. Although, sorry, you are delayed. Sorry, Stuart. The back pod is basically just the same. The neck is the same but longer for some reason. The head is pretty good and unique. Then you got the JJ one, which is actually everything's a bit more different. It all feels a bit more consistent and well balanced because Alex Yeager designed this and he's good at ship design. Got a few weird foibles, but you know, I actually quite like their new version of the back pod. It's rather good, although focusing is not this older camera's forte. There you go. Oh, I don't know how. Yeah, that is the lines are there, just very integrated. Never saw that before. Huh. Learned something new today.
Nice.
And then you got. Not
sure. No, I mean, if I had to pick one, if I had to pick one of these, it'd be the Kelvin verse one. I really like the design of that one.
Yeah. It's their best 5-second shot ever. Best 5-second ship ever.
Yeah, exactly. It's literally on screen in the Kobayashi Maru scenario.
Yep.
On the display screen, and it's not focused on at all.
And that's why getting the ships are great. That's why having them is great, because boom, you know, you never get to see them until you get to see them. I even quite like the fact there's a delta on the bottom for some reason.
Yeah.
This is a classic Klingon symbol. It's just more, just beefier. Because this from the top is silhouettedly just the right silhouette, whereas that is like, why is everything long? Like secondary hull is almost perfect design wise, like almost the same, but it's like, oh wait.
Yeah, it's something that when you look at the Discovery one, something just seems off, and it's just different proportions, different angles they use. Similar, but different. They're different enough that your eyes like, did I see that? But your subconscious is like, yeah, you saw that. Don't worry. It's wrong. But it's right for what it is. I mean, Eaglemoss did a great job in making the models.
Especially given they were very limited models, detail-wise, because they weren't ever designed to be heroes. And I am sad that we never got the fourth JoJo movie with the right production team, who were going to make, potentially make a Klingon war. To see them fighting these ships would be cool. As long as we didn't see the D4 renamed, I should say, by Star Trek Online. Their Klingon called a Klingon Raider, but they called it a D4, even though it clearly doesn't make any sense as a D4. But okay.
Yeah.
It's a trip carrier.
Well, guys, another 6 likes and another, honestly, $40 would be great if possible. I mean, right now Reese has the last super chat slot with the $10 one. If anyone wants to snipe, that'd be cool. But I think we're kind of winding down. Now, don't forget about the Summer Sweepstakes that Eaglemoss has on. You can win some really great stuff. I'll just go over this again as far as what the prizes are. So there's 1 grand prize of a complimentary cabin on the 2022 Summer of Trek cruise, and a $500 gift card for entertainment on ship. 2 first place prizes of autographed gold TOS Enterprise XLs. No word, well, I don't have any word here on who's autographing them, so who knows. 5 second place prizes of 1-year subscription to Star Trek collection of their choice through Eaglemoss.
Look how flat it is at the front. Look at that.
I know. Yeah. And 250 third place prizes of $10 gift cards. So you have until August 30th to sign up for that. So go check out the Summer Sweepstakes through Eaglemoss, guys.
Sometimes concept artist Ryan Denning says the art department would be asked to redesign something that was hard to improve on. This is exactly what happened when the producers asked him to design a new version of classic Klingon battlecruiser, the D7. I didn't want to change it, he says. I love the original version of the D7. It's one of my favourites, along with the original Enterprise. The original Enterprise is also almost perfect, and yet they really messed that up. Shocking. That's cool, though. Look at that. It's cool.
Yeah. I mean, from certain angles, it hides the problems with it. But when you do the orthographic views, like the front is too skinny, the angles are just wrong from the top view. Like, there's issues with it. But when you get it 3/4 or moving, you don't really notice a lot of that stuff. So.
But as we talked about having by keeping it the same and not, what do you change and not change? A lot of it's just purely your little gut reaction. We're trying to keep it so similar. It's like, well, the art is not to change, but you want to change it. It's very difficult. Harder than you think. Which is why I'm better. I can better at dissecting designs now. I've designed so many things for fan films.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to have 3D prints of all my designs, but I'm gotta be over 20 ship stations. Obviously, they vary from kitbash to really original, but I'm certainly getting up there, which is great. What an honour.
There should be a Eaglemoss Sam Cockings collection.
Yeah, I will reveal, and I have thought about this for years now. When I only had Horizon and something else, at some point when I have time. Wrong camera. I do want to do at some point my version of the magazine for all of my original designs. All the same renders in it. Call it some funny name. The exact same front structure, but renders interview the people that designed it with me. Either if it's just interviewing me, or the model builder, and be able to have like a I want to take the because if I take the magazine from the actual standard Eaglemoss magazines to a print store, I say, okay, what paper do they use? What size? What glossy? Make this. It's doable. And I'll, at some point it would be fun to have a personal private collection of printed out magazines of all my different ships. Because if I've used them in a fan film, they're finished. They're ready to 3D render. That's the point. And so I think it'd be really fun to have like a custom original Sam Cockings line of non-Eaglemoss magazines. If they can ever get 3D printed, that'd be great. I wouldn't necessarily do them all, but certainly magazines would be fun. Showing concept kit bashes when they have them. I've had a few pencil sketches of a few things very infrequently, but mostly just kit bashes. I think that'd be fun. And copy magazine, like page for page almost. So it's like feels like I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be great actually. Well, guys, one more like would be great.
$8 more. Let's round up 8 more. That's a pretty basic goal, Stuart. Yeah.
Yeah, one more like and $8 more would be a fantastic way to close this out. If you haven't checked out Eaglemoss, what's wrong? Go check it out. There's a link down below. Click that. You know where the traffic's coming from Trekyards that way. And then you can use the discount code Trekyards10. As we heard, somebody, Valkyrie 417, bought a Reliant XL during this live using that discount code. So that's fantastic. And it works on everything, shop exclusives, everything. The only thing it doesn't work on is pre-orders. Our old code didn't work on shop exclusives or special issues or anything like that. So this one works on everything and get 10% off, just not pre-orders. So anything that's coming up. So worth knowing.
Yeah, then they're always quite... Limited is the wrong word because you can get so much money off so many things, but don't always do every offer, especially the newest stuff. It does seem odd to... Here's a new thing! Use a 20% discount. Okay, we just lost money on our brand new product. So, and that's for pre-orders, I mean. Yeah. Can Eaglemoss do fan-made ships from Star Trek or other sci-fi universes? Well, technically it has, but no. It's done the Titan and the Aventine, both fan-design models, one for a competition, Sabius license, but it was fan-made. So that's the line of yes, but really no. And same with that... the other ship that was the Archer class, there's also one with a weird circle deflector in the middle that was using the books. It's like, well, it's a fan-made book design.
The Sagittarius.
There you go.
Which is an Archer class, yeah.
Whichever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess we're not going to get the $8, but that's fine.
I guess not.
Reese is the last super chat slot, so congratulations, Reese.
But it's still fun to chat with you, Stuart.
Yeah, this was actually fun, pulling out some Eaglemoss models and stuff. This was a good idea.
Back pat for Stuart.
Plus, it promotes Eaglemoss's Summer Sweepstakes, so go check that out, guys. Enter, win some stuff, go on a cruise.
I mean, and I'll be honest, if you have some money, if you earn a certain amount a year, you just buy every single model. I mean, they're all things. Every single model is worth getting in one way or another, right? Either you don't care about the fine details of some XLs, but they're great display pieces because they're bigger, or they're so well detailed you might as well, or because they're so small you can have lots of them throughout the house on mantelpieces, whatever. Legitimately, every single model is worth it in one. You know what I mean? Or pick and choose what you want. But if you love a ship, it's a really great way of taking it home, having it. Appreciating the renders, if you want some custom art for them, etc. And certainly the XLs, bit pricey, but I mean, it's a scale that's impressive, especially for some of them.
Yeah, when I finally redo my filming space, I'm gonna have a shelf behind me where I swap out like the XL models occasionally. But as of right now, I'm not gonna be doing that. But when I get the new filming location, I will be doing that for sure. Jamal Taylor throws in $2. Good stream. Nice tea.
Nice. We are both in houses.
All right. Well, I think we'll call it there. I do have food waiting for me upstairs now.
Ooh,
so...
what food? What food?
Just Burger King. It's getting cold.
Oh, I came a bit early then.
Well, they were out getting their second shot, and she picked it up on the way home. So, yeah. Anywho, thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll probably do an episode review or something tomorrow for our live. So same time, same channel. You know the routine.
You do know the routine.
Until then, I'm Captain Foley.
He is Captain Foley.
I am. That's all that really matters.
And I'm Connor Coggins. Matters too, right? Surely? Yes?
Absolutely.
Hey! I will see you soon.